وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم محمد اللهم صل على صليت على إبراهيم حميد مجيد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا. Respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us in the company of the righteous in this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise us amongst the righteous on the day of Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill our lives with mercy and rahmah, as all of us are in the need of the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ayah, the verse of the Quran that I recited in front of you is from the 19th juz, the 19th sipara. It is chapter number 25, which is known as Surah Al-Furqan, which means the one that differentiates between the right and the wrong, the one that differentiates between haqq and batil. And the ayat of the Quran is verse number 28. So Sipara, juz number 19, Surah number 25, verse number 28. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this very ayat of the Quran is mentioning to us and saying, Ya waylata laytani lam attakhid fulanan khalila. This is a call of an individual on the day of Qiyamah. Who is this person? Why are they saying this? We'll explain in just a few moments from the tafsir and the seerah. But this is a call of an individual in desperation in the times of difficulty, when they have seen results and consequences. So imagine this being a call of a person or cry of an individual on the day of judgment after seeing the results of their action. So this is a person screaming on the day of judgment and saying, Ya waylata. And the word Ya waylata is an Arabic metaphor which means woe upon me. As in many languages, when a person begins to curse their own selves for making a wrong decision. Why did I do this? So the word Ya waylata in Arabic refers to more or less to the effect of woe upon me. Laytani, I wish lam attakhid fulanan khalila, that I had not taken so and so as my close friend. I wish, woe upon me, I wish I had not taken so and so as my friend. And because of the lack of the time, we won't be able to discuss the details of the word Khalil, but inshallah for another time. In Arabic language, there are more than 10 ways where you can show affection and friendship with individuals. So for example, a person that you meet on a regular basis at all times has a particular word in Arabic. A person that you rarely see and you're okay with them as an acquaintance, you see, there's another word. There's another person who is so close to you that you share all of your, details and your confident messages to them, confidential information, and they know your family, they know you and your ins and outs. That's another level of friendship. And there are words for it in Arabic. And the word Khalil in Arabic means someone who is a very close friend. Someone that you followed or they followed you and you took their advice, and they're the ones who were your mushawirs, meaning they were those that you consulted amongst that. So something very brief upon this. So on the day of Qiyamah, there will be an individual who will scream and will say, Ya waylata, woe upon me, laytani, I wish I had not taken so and so as my Khalil, as my close acquaintance, a friend, a confidant, a person, someone that I consulted with or took their advice. Even though this ayat of the Quran is from a very specific point of the seerah of Rasulullah ﷺ, but as we know that the ayats and the verses of the Quran remain general for the humanity till the day of Qiyamah. Even though it was a very specific incident, but this ruling remains for each and every one of us on the day of Qiyamah. That will not only be that one person, it could be any person screaming on the day of Qiyamah saying, I wish I had not taken so and so as a friend. With that being said, let's come to the tafsir of this ayat of the Quran. It is mentioned that from amongst the ashraf and the leaders of the people of Makkah was a man known as Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt. He was not only, subhanallah, a neighbor of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the books of Sirah have mentioned multiple things about him. He was a man who lived very close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Uqba ibn Mu'ayt was a man from amongst those that was amongst the deepest, as you say, the worst of the enemies of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he left no stones unturned in order to insult the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to mock the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the extent that the filth of the animals that were slaughtered in the markets of Bhutan and Aqiq, he took the entrails and the filth of it, and he was the one who dropped it on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was performing sajda. And he would take the blood of the filthy animals, and he's from amongst the ashraf, the noble men so-called of the Quraysh, and he would throw that at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would take the waist of the camel and throw it on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was praying at the Kaaba. One day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was praying, and he came and he stepped his foot on the neck of the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he could not breathe. Meaning he was the worst of the worst. Abu Jahl showed, but this person physically showed the entire thing of his life, to the extent, to the level of spitting on the face, attempted murder, to the extent that strangulation of the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are all things that this man Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt did, to the extent that there was no one who showed more joy and happiness amongst the disbeliever than Uqba ibn Mu'ayt on the passing away of the son of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called Ibrahim. He enjoyed the moment, he enjoyed the day. So this is amongst the individuals. This is Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt. And there are many, many other things that the Quran actually mentions. And there is no one in the Quran that has been so explicitly mentioned with regards to the evils that they have done. To the extent that one of the ayat of the Quran says, "Utullim ba'da dhalika zanim," that he is a child of fornication. The Quran even defines that much filth of him, that how dirty of a man he was. And when this ayat of the Quran was revealed, he went to his mother and he said, "I know all the things the Quran said about me are not true, but this is something that you can only tell me if this is truth or not." Meaning even that was true. Meaning that's how bad he was. So according to the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt went on a journey. He came back. He called the ashraf of Medina, of Makkah, in his house in order to give them a feast, in order to give them food and celebration. This was their custom. Subhanallah, look at the raham, the mercy, the love, the care of the Prophet ﷺ. And he also invited the Prophet ﷺ because he was from amongst the most noble amongst the people of Quraysh. So the Nabi of Allah ﷺ said, "Uqba, I would love to take your invitation only on the basis that if you read the kalima and you say the shahada and accept Islam, and I'll come to your house." And this is the cure for the Prophet ﷺ, right? Even if he was the worst of the worst, as long as his akhirah could be made. This is the love of our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why the Quran again and again says, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَّمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. Oh my Nabi, will you give your life for the worry that you have for the guidance of the people? In the depth of the night, hard storm, so much difficulty, someone knocks on the doors of Abu Jahl and he says, "I take the qasam of Lat and Uzza, for the one that has come to my door will not be returned empty-handed." Because who can come to my house in the midst of the day with so much storm and difficulty in the night? So when he opens the door, it was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Nabi of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, "Abu Jahl, recite the kalima and you'll be saved." Right? And he's closed the door on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, this was his gham, his worry for the hidayat of the people. So he said, "Uqba, I will only come on the basis that if you say the shahada, and I will." So he said, I can do that. You just come to my house. So when the Prophet ﷺ came, Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt recited the kalima. I said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah." He recited the kalima, he says, "Eat." So the Prophet ﷺ ate, the rest of the people ate. And when the Nabi of Allah ﷺ was leaving and he left, his friends gathered him to the side. Amongst them was Ubay and Abu Jahl and Utbah and Sha'bah. And they said, what did you just do? You just recited the kalima and you left us? He says, no, I was just faking it. I was faking to just tell him to eat so I don't feel disgraced that someone walked in my house and left without eating. So that was just my posture of faking it with him. He says, no, we don't believe you. We don't trust you. If you want to be with us as our friend, you must showcase your hatred and your disbelief upon this man. He says, trust me, I'm your friend. He says, no. Ubay said, I'm not going to trust you till you do not go and spit on the face of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and tell him that you don't believe in him and he's not your friend. He said, I can do that as long as I don't lose you as my friends. As long as I don't lose my circle of friends that I have, I can do whatever you want. And according to the hadith, he went, and when Rasulullah was walking by, he spat on the face of the Prophet. That Mubarak face, that beloved face, that the Sahaba said, we looked at the moon and then we looked at the face of Rasulullah, and the face of the Prophet was much more munawwar and beloved and beautiful than the moon. So Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt spat on the face of the Prophet. And he disbelieved and he died in that state. So the Quran says, on the day of Qiyamah, يَوْمَ يُعَضُّ, one ayat before, يَوْمَ يُعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. On the day of Qiyamah, a zalim, an oppressor, will bite his hand. يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِ اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا. I wish I had not taken a path other than the path of Rasul. I wish I had not made so and so as my friends. Meaning this will be the awe and the cry of this individual. Indeed, they misguided me towards the wrong path. Brothers and elders, mothers and sisters in Islam, friendship makes a huge difference in our lives. The people that we associate with, the people that we are around, reminds me of a very small short story. I'll conclude with this. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was amongst the closest friends of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ali radiallahu anhu had sons, Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhu, known as Hassanain, the grandson of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were very beloved to Rasulullah, very, very beloved. So one day Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was walking by, and Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhu are very, very young. And they're young children. And being young, they grabbed onto Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and they said, you are that man who is the ghulam and the servant of our grandfather. Meaning he's always around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's always serving him. He's always taking care of them. He said, oh, you're that same man who is the ghulam and the servant of our grandfather, right? Our nana. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu began to cry. So Ali radiallahu anhu came and he said, Abu Bakr, I apologize. These are little kids, they are my sons, and I sincerely apologize your rutbah, your honor, nobility. I'm so sorry for the choice of the words that my sons have made. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, no, Ali, please don't apologize. But I just wish that these two sons, meaning these children, will grab me on the day of Qiyamah in front of Allah and will say that this is the ghulam of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I just wish that these children could be my witness on the day of Qiyamah, that I was a servant of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Suhbah and relationship and connections can lead a person towards such levels of life. So choosing right individuals, right people, right companionship has a big impact in our lives and the choices that we do and the actions that we perform. So again, this ayat of the Quran is a great example and a great reminder for all of us to choose the right companions, to choose the right friends. It doesn't mean that we need to isolate ourselves, and connect, cut ties with everyone, no. But be careful for who you associate and connect with at all times, for the life, the actions, the words, and the deeds of the people that we surround slowly become acceptable and over time become a part of our lives. So we have to be extremely careful for what we do and how we do things. Again, this is the 19th Sipara, the 19th Juz, Surah number 25, Surah Al-Furqan, verse number 28, revealed for a man known as Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, but remains as an open ayat and a lesson for the entire humanity. On the day of Qiyamah, a person will scream and say, Ya waylata, O woe upon me, laytani, I wish and I hope, I desire, lam attakhidh fulanan khalila, that I had not taken so and so as my friend and a close companion. May Allah give us tawfiq and ability to practice. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanallah.